Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 30 of the Well Done Life podcast. Hello and welcome back. I'm Pamela Davis, and you're listening to episode 30 of the Well Done Life podcast. Can you believe it? We have actually hit the big 3-0. As I was preparing for this show today, it really hit me that we're at 30. I couldn't believe it. I'm just so excited and grateful, and definitely I want to talk about that more in a minute, but I want to welcome you guys. So if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for listening. I hope this adds value, and I hope that you find a pocket of information that is worth sharing. And for everyone who has been on this journey with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a part of the Well Done Life community. I mean, that's what I built this for. For me, the Well Done Life community is about us sharing our stories to help elevate, educate, and grow together. So let's kind of get started. I want to make sure, though, one thing that I always love to do at the beginning of every episode is to send out prayers to all the first responders. I want to send prayers to the delivery workers, all the educators, parents, kids, and everyone dealing with COVID-19. It's still out there, and I know we're all starting to feel fatigued, but please stay diligent with your social distancing and mask. I mean, I miss hugs. I really do. I miss going out to dinner. I miss hanging out with my friends. I miss spa days, etc. too. But with COVID-19, if we don't all come together and do our part, it's not going to be controlled. And that's really what we want to get to. So again, I want to send special prayers out to all those people on the front line, to everyone out here dealing with it. We're in this together, and I really pray that everybody just continues to try to do their part so that we can get this thing controlled and start to move on with the rest of our lives. So, like I mentioned earlier, this is episode 30. And since that is such a milestone, I wanted to make sure that I said it with intention. I mean, you guys already know I'm one of those waist bead sage burning intentional queens. And yes, I'm a queen, just in case you were wondering. So I want to kind of talk about the meaning of episode or number 30, because the number 30 is a number of joy, creativity. It's a number of building society, spiritual awakening, and being spiritually connected to God. Essentially, the angel numbers, it gives the meaning that angels are surrounding us and trying to get our attention. This is a time for following our intuition and divine guidance in order to make the appropriate steps at this point. I mean, and I really accept and claim all of that, because today I want to talk about setting an intention, and something especially for women, how we have to become accustomed to protecting our peace and not tolerating disrespect at all times. I mean, we're in a very polarizing time, and I think that we all know what's contributing to this madness that we're going through. And if not, I mean, let me give you some of the quick high points. The global pandemic, record unemployment, increased racial tensions, and a contentious election year. So to say that we all have a lot going on is an understatement. But even in spite of all of those things, I think one of the things that we have to remember, which will help us as we're moving through this, is that people are actually still thriving. I mean, I'm going to be honest, women are still thriving. We're still getting it done as we always have. And in episode 29, I asked, is this the year of the woman? And I still think 2020 really may be the year of the woman. But one thing that I'm starting to notice more and more is that as women advance, it's being revealed that more men don't like women. And let me repeat that. As women advance, it becomes more apparent that there are a lot of men who don't like women. And I'm going to let that hang for just a moment, because I'm sure that a lot of people are trying to process that, because, of course, men like women. But I'm not, and a lot of men like women, but I'm not relating it in the sense of sex. So let's take that totally off the table, because that's not it. I mean, a lot of men love having sex with women, love being with women, but a lot of men don't actually like women. And I mean like women in the sense of talking about respect, because a lot of that dislike is translating into disrespect. And I think that that has become even more obvious under our current government administration. I mean, and before we even dive into what this is really about, I don't want us to get lazy, because this is not a political party debate. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, what have you. So let's take that off the table, because that's lazy thinking, and we don't do that here. There are men in all political affiliations that don't like women either. I mean, that's across all party lines. And hell, let's really keep it a buck. There are a lot of women who don't like women too. And again, it's not about being sexual. It's just that a lot of people have rooted their dislike in women's advancements based upon their own personal experiences or insecurities. And those personal experiences and insecurities, drive a lot of the things that they're doing. And I really want you to think about that, because a lot of times we don't check our own personal experiences or insecurities when we're dealing with people. So you have to understand that when I'm saying that there are a lot of men and a lot of women who don't like women, that's rooted in their own personal previous pains, insecurities, and flaws that make them feel not on the same level as this woman that they're talking about in a negative way. So they have to attack her, or in just the most derogatory of manners. And it's, like I said, it's rooted in their own personal experiences and insecurities. And it drives everything that they do. So I think about it when you're searching social media, or you're reading the news, or having conversation with people, including friends, family, colleagues, etc. You're getting their insights based upon their personal experiences and insecurities. And who checks them on that? Do you check your people on that? Or do you allow that information to be taken into you? Or do you just simply ignore it and keep going? I mean, a lot of those questions are rhetorical questions, but there's something that we have to think about. And we've all done a combination of check the person, ignore them, keep going, or just avoid certain conversations altogether, because you just don't want to be bothered. I mean, many of us were raised with the notion of not engaging people in conversations related to religion or politics to avoid conflict. But I think one thing that we all have to understand is that being surrounded by blatant disrespect can become rooted in your spirit when you witness it. And let me say that again. When you are in environments, or you are looking at content or listening to things, reading it, where you can clearly see blatant disrespect, it can become rooted in your spirit when you are a witness to it, even when it's not about you. Because remember, I mean, we take in everything that we consume. That means every conversation, everything we read, everything we hear becomes a part of us. And one of the most important aspects of living an intentional life, or living a well-done life, is not being able to take things personally, being impeccable with your word, and guarding your energy. Because when you don't take things personally, you have made this decision to seek understanding versus trying to push an agenda. Because, like I mentioned, this is an extremely polarizing time. There are going to be lots of opinions that you are going to hear. I've already heard it. I've seen it coming across now. And I don't know about you, but it's overwhelming sometimes. Because you have your own philosophy and thoughts, but then you're being subjected to some of the negativity and the vitriol that I've seen and heard. Some of it is extremely repugnant. Most of it is. And it's baseless. It's never based on facts. It's always about trying to tear someone down, either on a physical standpoint or a mental standpoint, versus dealing with true statistical facts. Because again, it's rooted in emotion. And you have to understand that when you are dealing with someone, again, who is dealing from a place of giving their opinion sometime, a lot of times those people are coming at you because they're dealing with their emotions and they're laying their emotions on you. So when you are subjected to that, that can come into your spirit. And like I said, when you don't take it personally, you're making the decision to seek understanding versus trying to push an agenda. And you understand that people will disagree with you, but you maintain a natural level of skepticism because you know who you are. So you have to guard against that negativity coming into you so that it doesn't infect your spirit. And again, like you said, you know the importance of separating your thoughts from others because we don't want to make decisions. We don't all make decisions, from objectivity. So with that understanding, you're not afraid to question people or to hold them accountable for their words because, again, you're trying to seek clarity, not hurt feelings. So that means that you're able to point out your areas of correction when you give that feedback, when you address it, because sincerely, you should be leading with love. And now that's not always going to be a perfect outcome because, again, you're dealing with someone who's irrational based on emotion and you're trying to come with logic. And sometimes it definitely just becomes a headbutting situation. And some people are going to get mad. But I think the thing that we have to understand as we're trying to protect our energy, trying to be impeccable with our word and not take things personally, is that who cares if they get mad? I mean, no, like seriously, who cares if someone gets mad at you questioning their logic or questioning this amount of disrespect that they're sharing or even spewing out? Because remember, you're not trying to take that into yourself. And yes, you can easily just walk away. But if you decide to question it and someone gets mad at you about it, who cares? Because your peace is one of the most important things that you have. So you have to guard it like it's priceless. You have to be relentless about your peace. Because even though it sounds simple, it's not. I mean, personally, I think about going into this election season and with everything going on, just constantly swirling information. And I make it a point to really try to fall back into the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I've mentioned this book several times on the podcast, and I'll definitely, again, link to his website in the show notes. But the Four Agreements for me was really life-changing because it allowed me to really focus my energy on what matters. Because of one thing I will say that I've learned as I've matured, I'm not going to say I'm getting older, but matured, is that life is as complex as we make it. And if we really learn to embrace the simplicity of it and to be grateful for the things that we have and to realize that, yes, you're going to face challenges because that's what life is about, but know that you are equipped to handle them because you have faith, you know God is on your side, and you know that nothing can come against you when you just deal from a place of clarity and rationalness. It's freeing. And I really think that this is a time where even if it's not the Four Agreements, you have to lean into whatever gives you the courage to realize that your peace is too valuable to be surrounded by disrespect on any level. And also, like I said, you can't be afraid to confront it because as long as you maintain your clarity and how you're approaching it, things will work out. Because, yeah, there's possibility you may cuss out some people. I mean, like I said, we are still all being worked on. We are children of God. Nobody is a perfect person. But you also may be able to have a productive conversation with someone that leads to increased understanding and a stronger relationship. Because I hate to say it, I think about all of those Thanksgiving dinners that are coming up. I mean, that some of them still may be virtual, some of them may not. But going into all this season, you're going to have a time, those Labor Day virtual parties, you are going to have conversations with your friends over these next couple of weeks, coming months, that are going to probably test the boundaries of your patience. And you're going to see things on social media because we enjoy reading and consuming Facebook and Instagram and all of these different social platforms. You're going to see things that are going to try your soul. And you're going to want to respond. And no offense. Now, on the social side of it, I don't respond to trolling because personally, I'm like, a lot of people feel emboldened behind computers to say all types of disrespectful things to people that they would normally never say to them if they were confronted with them in their face. And I'm personally one of those people. If I can't say it to your face, I should not be saying it on the internet. But I know not everybody's built of that cloth. So I always say sometimes you have to go on a social media fast. You have to pull yourself out of that because, again, remember, if you're surrounded by disrespect, that disrespect, if it's not confronted or adjusted out of your life, can become rooted in your soul. So don't be afraid to make adjustments to what you consume in order to protect your peace. Because like I said, peace is one of those things that it's a non-negotiable. And to me, with everything going on, you don't have time to waste on people who are surface level. I mean, like I said, no one is perfect. You may cuss somebody out. You may have a productive conversation, but you need to have productive conversations with people who add value to your lives. If they don't add value to your life, I say tell them to kick rocks and keep going because time is too valuable for you letting surface level folks get the best of you. You have conversations with people that actually enrich you and grow you. If they don't enrich you and grow you, then fuck them, because you don't have time for anything else. So ladies, I mean, really, I wanted to hop on because I want you to understand this is the time to protect your peace and block bullshit at all costs because it's coming. It's coming strong. And you have to stand in what matters most for you. And to me, protecting your peace and blocking bullshit is a key to living the well-done life. And it's going to be critical in the times ahead because in spite of all of this stuff that's going on, all of the vitriol, we have work to do. We have change to get done. It's going to fall on us. It's not going to just be the black women saving the day because as black women, we're all going to do what we need to do, but we also need the white women to do what they need to do. We need our Latino sisters to do what they need to do. We all need to come together to change the trajectory of where our country is going. Because whether you like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden or not, or you got to make a decision. You got to say, are we going to keep going on the path are we going to go? Or are we going to do and put some new people in? And nobody's perfect. So the time for debating who's this and that is over. We need to decide and come together and help shape this world, not just for us, but for the next generation. So we have things that are much bigger than dealing with internet thugs and having exchanges with family members, friends, and colleagues who really you might not be that tough with, but you're letting these people surround you in negativity. Guard yourself. Take care of you because you are the most important thing to do. Your peace is the most valuable thing. And when you protect your peace, you will save somebody's life because when you're pissed off, you're 9 times out of 10 going to cuss that person out and snatch their little soul out with your words. And I want you to avoid that. I want you to always be able to stay centered, stay strong, stay focused. Let's stay focused on doing what's necessary to help move this country to the next level. So I want to thank you, ladies, for listening to me today. I hope that there, like I said, was some nuggets, some thoughts that helped you find value. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm on all podcasting platforms. My social information will be in the show notes. And don't hesitate to email me at thewelldonelife@gmail.com. I love receiving your feedback. It helps me get better and helps me produce content that's going to help us all get to the next level because that's what it's about. Protect your peace. And I look forward to speaking with you next week. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Good night.